Good day, everyone. Happy Sunday from me. It's Sunday, the 27th of November at the time I'm recording this. This is for my market outlook. It's a short outlook for the week ahead. And first things first, we're looking at the calendar. And you can go to any site. I happen to choose this particular site. And what I'm looking for here are high impact news releases. And anything that's going to affect the markets during the upcoming week. These are preset. We know the times. And what we want to do is avoid trading the currency pairs associated with these news releases at least half an hour before and half an hour afterwards, as the markets can swing quite dramatically during that time in unexpected ways, right? So during the course of this week, we've got a few things coming up on Tuesday that will affect the Canadian dollar, pound, USD. So during these times, we want to stay out. Now, the main thing for the week is going to definitely be the non-farm payrolls, which come out on the first Friday of every month, and that's from the US. So I'm going to avoid trading before and after that time, just a short while before and after. No matter which way the experts predict it might go, we want to avoid that. So there's going to be a bit of choppiness there on the Friday. So let's have a look and see what actually are we looking at on a technical basis during the course of this week. And I'm going to take a few pairs. I'm going to use one of the systems that we at Tradeology regularly use. I'm using this particular one across all the different charts. I'm looking at the 4-hour time frame at this point. We can also have a look at the weekly if you so wish. And each week so far, I've been covering the pound USD, Euro USD, Australian dollar, USD, and gold. So we'll have a look at these again today. And of course, just to mention, I'm not covering Bitcoin here, although Bitcoin, we've seen it's down around 77% off its recent highs, and at the time of recording this, it's been trading around $16,500. That's off $69,000 from just over a year ago, and now basically at November 2020 levels. So I'm going to be neutral on Bitcoin for the next while, at least until the new year, to see what happens there. If there's any other black swan type events like we've recently seen with the FXT, we've got a lot of these exchanges having a lot of issues, then actually I would change my sentiment to bearish, perhaps down to $10,000 a Bitcoin by January, if there is another black swan event, something that will really rip through the markets. Otherwise, I'm expecting it to remain between $16,000, perhaps up to $17,000, but we'll have a look at that separately. I'm not going to cover that today. So firstly, we can see I've got this chart. It's the pound USD. Let me just move this out the way. And with the pound USD, there's a lot of levels on here. I'm sure you'll see. Now, a lot of these I'd set during the course of last week, and you would have been familiar with this pattern if you had watched my preview last week. We were expecting it to break out of this wedge. And then I had preset certain levels, which it then hit at these two levels here. It's actually broken above the £1.20 level during the course of the week. So that was interesting. Went up a little bit, retraced a bit, and looking at the current indicators, it looks to be consolidating. I've got a MACD here, my red line above the blue, and looking bearish there. Excuse me. While on the top indicator here, MA stochastic, I've got basically it's still pretty much an overbought territory right now. So it kind of mixed signals. Still looks to be having some potential for the upside. And I'm going to have a look at setting a very tight target during the early parts of this week, up towards the £1.21 level, thereabouts, for a day or two to see what might transpire. Now, we know that the dollar generally has been weakening, softening, so I'm expecting that trend to continue at least until the next Fed interest rate hike is announced. It's expected to be soft at a lot slower pace than what was expected a few months ago, with 50 basis points or increase due in the first part of December. So until then, I think the market's hanging tight just to see, and that will result in slight bearish pressure on the dollar for the moment, which is good news for the other correlated currency pairs like the pound. So I'm expecting some bullish momentum there. Now, if we look at the euro, a very similar pattern here. About a week ago or so, we had drawn out this wedge shape here, and we're expecting it to hit the levels here and here if it did break out, which it did. And currently, similar to the pound, looking at the MACD side here, it's the MACD indicator looking slightly bearish there, still positive on the MA stochastic indicator that I've got on here, and with these two moving averages I've got here, it's still pointing up. What we've seen here is a retracement back from close to this level here, the €1 and 4 cents, or 1.046 level. Excuse me again. It retraced back to the current or the next support area here, 1.036, and currently trading around this area here. Now, when the markets open on Monday, I'm expecting a similar movement to the pound. I think it's going to remain range bound, at least for a few days, between the 1.0455 level and the other lower level here at 1.0365. With the upward momentum currently holding, we could see it just move up a little bit to this level here before it retraces again. So I'm expecting it to be slightly range bound for the moment. At least for Monday, I'm going to have a look and see how things go before I plan out any further on the Tuesday. With the Australian dollar, USD, similar kind of pattern here again. We saw the lines I had drawn about a week ago here. It did break through and headed up towards my levels, hit this level here and exceeded it. Now I'm expecting with the Australian dollar also some strength this week. 0.67, 0.68, around that level there is where I'm expecting it to head up. We do see just a slight cross here, similar to the other two pairs, the MACD, looking to go bearish at this point, although some mixed signals, but still overall, I think we can expect it to head back towards that level there before it retraces. It will then remain range bound if it does not exceed that level, between the current level and the 0.67 or 0.68 levels. And should it break through there, the next highest level would, as you can see on the chart there, be very close to that at 0.6, well, that's 0.68. And if it breaks through that level, then we could be going as high as 0.683. So remaining overall bullish on the Australian dollar, at least for the first few days until Wednesday, when there's some CPI information coming out, some news releases going on there. We'll keep an eye on that. Now we're on to gold. Well, you know, with USD being weaker, we've seen gold at close to a 2-month high over the last week or so, before it retraced somewhat and bounced back off this key level that I'd set also a week ago. You can see it hit exactly that level, $1,727. Moved back up over the previous level that we had set there at 1,750, and was heading up towards the next higher level at 1,765 before it retraced just before that back down to this level. Now, again, I'm expecting, depending on what happens during the week, of course, but let's have a look at the MACD here. Currently, the MACD is looking bullish. We're still waiting for a signal here from the step MA stochastic. Should that rise a bit and I get a little arrow here based on my current system that I'm using here, then I'd be looking to go long. And I would definitely be aiming towards going long towards this level here, 1,765. And if it breaks through that level, we could even go towards the 1780 level there, right? So overall, although there's some mixed signals here, I think with the dollar having bearish sentiment at the moment, bodes well for the pairs that I've just covered, and I'll be checking them out especially closely after Monday or during Monday and later part of Monday when the New York session opens. So for the pound, the euro, Australian dollar, USD pairs looking overall bullish, and for gold, somewhat neutral, but I do expect that it will also rally a slight bit before retracing at least into the early parts of the week. And I've got my level set. I wish you guys a fantastic week ahead. Keep an eye on the charts. Remember to follow your system closely. Keep a lookout for those news events, especially on Friday with the non-farm payrolls. And have a great trading week, guys. Look out for other information from me at any time. And if you're watching this on one of our platforms, please do subscribe. Use the link below to get the latest updates as and when they happen from us. And do check out any other materials below also. Thank you very much and have a great week, guys. Thanks again for watching, and please remember to subscribe to our channel below to receive notifications so whenever a new video is released you don't miss any. And again, for a free system, also check out our link in that description below.